and it was on Saint Ignatius of Loyola. And he was a soldier, and it was through his reading, through his getting hit with a cannonball, and he's convalescing, and he didn't have any material about romance novels and all the war things that he wanted to read, and they brought him a couple of books on the saints and on the life of Christ, and it was filling up his mind of good things, right? Good lessons. That's what you do here with the kids' books. I think you bring the good lessons. It's the old fairy tales. Every fairy tale we used to read, Anthony, as kids, had some story, some message in there. We got away from that. We get into this garbagey stuff. And you do something more. You not only bring a lesson, you bring a Christian message. So you're doing all
Thank
of that, and
Thank you.
it's
Thank you. I appreciate it. C.S. Lewis said
mm,
that, the job of children's literature is to baptize the imagination of the child. You're actually baptizing their imagination. You're showing them that their imagination can be, it's very powerful, the imagination. The imagination, you know, can be used for bad fantasies or good fantasies, and it could really wreak havoc in a person's life. But if you baptize that imagination early and you fill the heads of children with these stories, like you said, of these fairy tales, that shows them, it doesn't scare them. People sometimes say fairy tales are bad because dragons scare children. And they might object to some of the things in this book because they're a little bit scary. But no, 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 not at all. What these books do, what fairy tales do, is they show children that you can slay the dragon. You could overcome the evil by being virtuous. That's the great lesson of fairy tales. And I hope one of the lessons that's contained in this book and all my children's books, very, very important, this point that you're making.
I give a presentation called Stolen Innocence. It's what's happening to our kids, to our elementary school kids in these public school systems and the culture and on social media and all these things. And I call it that, that we're robbing them of their innocence and obliterating their moral imaginations. What you're doing is, and what I tell the parents and so often, and when I get a chance to talk to young people, that we have to restore that, how we have to lay that foundation back in. And that's what you're talking about when, their imaginations are powerful. Let them have the awe and wonder, all good philosophy too. C.S. Lewis, G.K. Chesterton, good philosophers always start with awe and wonder, don't they?
They do, because that's the thing. Images have to do with the imagination. That's why it's called imagination. They are so powerful, and the devil and the secular culture understands that, and that's why pornography has caused so much of a problem. And the other side uses images so powerfully to twist people and pull them away from what's good. On our side, we have to do the opposite. We have to use images and imaginations to pull them to our side back again.
Yeah, something that stays in their heads and stays in their hearts to combat. So when they hear these secular, really demonic messages, they have something to compare it to, right? So children, when we instill virtues and values in them, and we talk about these things, and we're not afraid, to your point, not afraid to say there is evil out in the world. Look, there's never been as much evil attacking children in the world as today. Physically, emotionally, psychologically, I mean, at every dimension.
That's right. And kids see it. You can't hide. We want to protect our kids from evil. We can't. They see it out there. They see shootings. They see the bad things out there. So we're not protecting them at all by hiding evil from them. We have to show them, number one, that there is final justice for those who do great evil and who don't repent. And that's the purpose of talking about hell. But we also have to educate them about God's mercy and the truth that one drop of Christ's blood is enough to wash away the sins of 1 billion universes. You have to give them that two-edged message that there is punishment and final justice for evil, but on the other hand, that if they themselves do something bad, there's always mercy as long as you turn around, go back to God, say you're sorry. As long as you have both sides of that message, and you're not leaning either too much to one side or too much to the other, then they're going to grow up with a healthy mind and a healthy view of the world, and they'll be able to battle the evil that comes their way, even if they succumb sometimes to the temptations of the world, which they will.